What it do? It's your boy, Illuminated D, and you know what I'm saying, we back with another one. The first thing I want to do is thank you to everybody who's liked and commented. And to all the subscribers, Pops and I want to let you know how much we really appreciate you. For you to come and spend your time with us and to consume the content. While we understanding that you have busy lives, we want to thank you and bless. Well, family, I know that it's been a long time. I haven't really been on as of lately. I've been in the field and I really just been running this bag up, you know what I'm saying? But family, I want to give y'all a multi-million-dollar opportunity. I know that a lot of people are going to say, you know, everybody's always sending out these scams and what ifs and what that and how and whatever. Look, I have a multi-million-dollar opportunity for y'all to come in and change your life. But I want to let you know, I've been in this since the market crashed, since Trump came in. So I want to let y'all know that your opportunity is very fleeting. And I hope that this video that I'm about to show you all will change your perspective. I want to let you know that you have a short window of opportunity to get into this project, to get invested into DCA, which is dollar cost average, as hard and as fast as you can. If I could, I would sell my house. But family, you already know that's what I did. I sold my house and I bought more. If I could, I'd probably sell the car, use that as leverage too, but you know, I got to use my car to get to work. So family, get in, because this might be the one opportunity that is going to set you up for generational wealth. And if you don't get in, well, at the end of the year going into next year, I'll be letting you know I begged you and I told you. But when I'm pulling up in the Lamb, when I pull up out of this and I'm in the Lamb, you're going to be like, damn, he wasn't capping. But family, without further ado, I want to introduce you to my friend Sami, and he's going to break this down for you, all right? Let's get into this.
You know, when Pulsechain starts doing numbers like this, and you start seeing these gargantuan big moves, right? And the train, it'll start going up. I've already planned mentally how I'm going to be tagging every KOL in crypto. I already know all of them. You name him, her, the squirrels, the turtles, the pet ducks. I'm going to be tagging all of them. You are too. And I'm going to use Richard Hart language from when Hex was at the top. You want to know what he was saying? It's genius. This is how he got him to FOMO. He said, like, emphatically, I begged you to save your users. I begged you and I pleaded with you. I told you, please listen. I told you about the superior game theory. I told you about the T-shares. That's what he was saying. I told you, I begged you, please. I was begging you. Please listen. Please, it's going up without you. Please. I told you, I begged you, I messaged you. Now you're probably wondering, did it work? You know, in the Pulsechain sacrifice, Ivan on Tech sacrificed. Crypto Banter sacrificed. Kyle Poops sacrificed. We love Kyle Poops, but you know, it's so close to Poops, I've got to say Poops. Dick Cherry sacrificed. That guy with the giant hole in his ear, that punk dude, he sacrificed. He G'd it out, but he sacrificed. Yeah, he sacrificed big as well. I think like millions or something. We got a lot of people, friends. Yeah. There's others, they'll just never admit it. Okay? They sacrificed. Okay? So it worked. Now I wonder if when we start pumping up like this, I wonder if when we get to where Richard thinks fair value is, maybe 100 to 200 billion market cap. I hope we're up 100x higher, right? For the whole ecosystem, 50 to 100x. I hope he just comes out and does a sacrifice. I hope so. You know, friends, you know, Pump Fund, they literally just did a $600 million retail ICO raise. And the exchanges helped them. And they're offside already, by the way. What was that? They're offside? But all my favorite mainstream KOLs told me Pump Fund was undervalued. Okay. Sorry. But I have to tell you the truth. You have two hands, maybe one hand. Please feel the chair you are currently sitting on. I'll have you know, it's a chair. You're not on the bed. You're in the hotel cuck chair. Wakey, wakey. So if Richard himself comes out and accompanies this mania with me yelling with you, we're saying, we begged you, please, we begged you, trust me, it'll work, okay? I know you're laughing now. This will work. It always works, right? It would be nice if Richard comes out and he does the $1 billion top signal call where he does a sacrifice. Yeah. Now, I know what you're thinking and I'm thinking. You're like, only a complete spastico retardio loser would ever do another sacrifice again. You just watched the Pump Fund founder dump $700 million of soy on Solana, people, release a JPEG token launcher, and grift everybody for another $1.3 billion. You just watched it, and people willfully ran in. So I'm telling you, if people see success, if people see Resurrection Hex and Erection Hex and Protein Hex come back, if they dare put their eyes on the greenest logo in crypto, the greatest DEX with a buy and burn, okay, they're not going to remember your pain, dude. They think they're smart. They're not going to say anything, friends. They're going to say, oh my gosh, man, look, I'm not going to make it. Crypto's complicated. If I ride with this team, I'm probably going to make it. Just like XRP Army. Just like these Hex guys. Just like these Pulsechain guys. They believed in something and it worked out. Screw it. It's going to work out this time. This time's different. Good. I hope he does. I hope he does. Because the way I see it, and this is true, by the way, this is, friends, I'm speaking with honesty and truth here, okay? It's better for them that they're going to buy the top of something. Okay, they will buy the top of something. It's better that they buy into a Richard Hart sacrifice, that you and me are supporting the ecosystem in the next bear market. It's better that choice than to go get grifted in the next Pump Fund trash, because they're going to be locked in, trapped for the next 3 to 4 years anyway. So better you're trapped with us than the other cucks. Yeah. It's true, though. Right? Do you find a flaw in that? I don't. I trust me. I trust you. Power of friendship. I don't trust these other cucks. Look what happened to EOS. Look what happened to all these. Okay? So, look, I know, man, it's been tough. Everything's still down after a long time. But the truth is that you couldn't have picked a better team to get trapped with. Pulsechain, first cycle. Right? Number 2, the community's still here. Strongest cult. I mean, friends, Hex is the cult of crypto. It is the cult. Not a cult. It is literally the cult. The cult. I hope Hex pumps up so much. So, I know Morad watches. So, I can just tag Morad, bro. How did you come and study cults in crypto off my material and you skipped the Bitcoin of cults, Hex? They defined what a cult is, bro. You lock up your money for 15 years and you get your friends and family in. and you defend against the Eric Walls and the Udis and the Eric and the Udis when they come together after taking 15 minutes off from their day to stop pashing each other down the throats to come and FUD other stuff. How did you skip that? Well, here's the thing. I'm talking to deaf ears right now, so it means nothing, yeah? But when the prices are up, things are going to be different, you know? So once again, it comes down to buy low, sell high. It comes down to getting in early. It comes down to, do you want to buy New York before everybody settles? Or do you want to buy after you have 18 billionaires there already and a block of land is now $82 billion? Obviously, you want to buy before, okay? So this is the Pulsechain PLS price. Once this starts rising, like many other things, in a family-friendly way, everything bonding up with it, it's all going to come together, okay? And I want you to remember this. This means nothing now. But you know, friends, this is pain now. This is pain. But if I put on a log chart, on a linear, okay, you see this pain? Well, this is what's going to happen, right? Once this thing's doing that, okay, you and I are going to remember all this. Bam, 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 bam. We're going to remember all that pain 4 years. But you know what people are going to remember? They're going to remember, oh my gosh, you guys were poor 4 months ago. Now, you've got morning wood. That's what they're going to know. Look at this. This is huge. Okay? Look, because friends, they can't miss this, okay? Like, no matter how you spin it, what I'll do is I'll just show you the log chart up to that price. That's just 6x sack price, right? They're literally going to go, oh my gosh, this thing's up 36x, you know? Because, you know, other things are moving up and moving up, but no, this is the one, bro. This one's different. Why is this one different? Because you had a guy pegging his own nipples, yelling about this for 5,400 videos, showing you, hey, this is how crypto has value. Metcalfe's law, Reed's law, memes, cults, religions, multiple conferences per year. The community's still alive, still not even listed. Everybody's pricing us for dead. We're actually still alive. Do you understand that? This is how amazing it is. You get to buy $1 for 1 cent. Most of the time in crypto, if you're lucky, like in Bitcoin, you can buy $1 for like 70 cents. It's less risk, you know? With Ethereum, you can buy $1, I guess, for 30 cents. With other big layer 1 coins, okay, you can buy $1 for 20 cents. But with Hex and Pulsechain, the fart coins, you can buy $1 for 1 cent. These are just part of the circumstances. But you know, you better be right when it comes to these, because there's a lot of things you can think they're going to $1. You know, I'm talking about the return here. I'm trying to like even like, you know, normalize the odds across the board. Everything's worth 1 cent. You're like, oh, this thing's worth $1. This thing's worth $1. You can just say that. But like I've just shown you all the evidence, you know, this community sacrificing 4 years ago, Richard Fart missing, Warlord Richard gone, right? A lot of people might be sad to find out maybe he's not on top of that sandwich shop. Doesn't matter. They're still here. And then you have literally the motherload of conspiracies, the literal motherload, the world's first unicorn ping pong coin. You've never seen anything like it, which might bootstrap and fire up the whole ecosystem. So that's why, friends, I want to show you. I showed you that pulse, this post by Fart Beast. So Fart Beast is showing you out when these things go up a lot. This is how it's going to play out. Right. Remember, friends, I did a video as well on Fart himself, Lord Fart, and I showed you how, like, one of my discoveries. Well, I'm a peanut brain, you know what I mean? I'm just sitting here 18 hours a day spinning on the squeaky chair. I used to, by default, you come in. This is what everyone thinks. By default, when people come in, they think that the best outcome is your coin to do this and just never go down. The problem is you don't get that, okay? The problem is you're a consumer. You're a low-level participant with me. You're not hunting for like $1 trillion worth glory, all right? So when someone who's hunting for $1 trillion worth glory, a chart like that, firstly, it's near impossible to do. And secondly, it's not actually the best chart if you're trying to become a trillionaire. If you're trying to become a trillionaire, what you have to do is, okay, you do the dog shit, and then what you do forever is you get the hyper pump. You get the XRP chart. Because the number, I mean, it gives everyone such a huge dopamine hit, they'll forever remember that number. I mean, XRP did 650x in 2017. Now, you might say, but Sammy, that sucks because in the next bear market, this thing might go all the way up here and then it drops freaking 98%. You know what I mean? Maybe that's like, whoa, bang, okay. So what I initially thought was, what a horrific action that all these people are trapped. I go, oh no, they're all trapped in the bear. They're all trapped in the bear. Yeah, but then I realized Richard's like thinking, obviously I don't speak to him, friends, because I don't know the chef. I can't get into the shop. Okay. But I realized, oh wait, it's better to trap them. They are your megaphones for the next bull. And you can only trap them at the top. You can only trap them when the crowd is drunk, when they've got like 30 to 90 days of like ultimate euphoria. And crypto goes parabolic, right? So, I mean, like, look at ICO raises, friends. We have $1 billion ICO raises in the bull, at the top of the bull. And then in the bear market, you can't raise $10 million. Literally, it's like that. Right now, we're still in that bear thing for altcoins, okay? So, yes, I know it sucks, but it is better to trap as many people as you can. You print the highest candle. You trap as many people as you can. You get them literally all in. Because the thing is, right, it's a cycle of people retaining their position in the bear market anyway, right? So if you onboard 10 people, 3 are staying. Yeah. Now, 9 might eventually leave, but like 2 come back. And they're like, oh, wait, you're not actually dead. And then like a year later, they come back. So you onboard 10 people, 3 stay. And Richard's thinking, wait, why don't I onboard 1,000 people instead of 10? I onboard 1,000. What you're actually doing is you're making the candle higher. Because that's what crypto is, yeah. The higher you pump it, the more people you actually get in. That's what happens. You know, and then Richard thinks bigger. He's thinking, hey, instead of 1,000 people, let's do 100,000 people. Because you and I are thinking, oh crap, if you onboard 100,000 people into these tops, you have 70,000 people trapped. Yeah, he doesn't care about that. That's not a bad thing. Okay, and if you run this thought experiment yourself, if you're trying to become a trillionaire, you need maximum network effect. You need maximum branding. You need the most number of people in the city. You need people to get exposed to the city. They have to go from 0 not being in to 1 being in. Okay, you have to get them in. If you don't get them in at that top, they never come in. Yeah. So you get to see how he's playing a different game, you know? Now, here's the thing, friends. Obviously, it would be nice after such a long, gruesome bear market. It would be nice if you and I got the juicy BNB chart. You know, let me show you BNB. BNB charts like that. Oh, wow, I wish we just went up, you know what I mean? Like a nice staircase. I mean, BNB, friends, had a shallow bear market, dropped 72%. Look at this. It dropped 68%, and then it like up to the... It would be nice if it did that, but this is a super, super special, unique case, okay? They're literally artificially getting money. Not really artificial, but the Binance Exchange is a unicorn. They're getting money in fees, and they're literally using it to bid their token. Okay, that's why my PulseX might be super special for this bull market as well, okay? So I've shared something for you. Basically, what I've shown you is, if we just simplify it down, okay, Richard, so whether or not you and I know the answer about what's better or not, it doesn't actually matter. What matters is probably the founder, okay? The founder, Richard, let's put a top hat here just to signify Richard, okay? And let's put a sandwich shop here, a top hat and a sandwich, okay? So Richard, there are 2 options, friends, how you can play as a founder, okay? You can get it to do the BNB chart. This is chart A, okay? Okay. Whether this is the next one is right or wrong doesn't really matter, okay? Or you have the B chart where it's literally, snap, okay? That chart, all right? And then come like that. So whether you think A is better or B is better, it doesn't actually matter. I can tell you right now, Richard, he does B, okay? He does B. He does the turbo pump. He doesn't play defense. He plays offense. He basically launches a really, really long slingshot, okay? Now, what am I basing this off? Everything I've told you, all my research. And I mean, like, look no further. If you look into the greatest cold of crypto, Hexaroonies, this is actually the hex price chart. Okay, here, right here. Case in point. Yeah? Case in point, friends. Where did Richard call the top of Bitcoin? Here. Okay? Right here. So remember, as far as Richard was concerned, he's like, oh, the bull market's over. So if you actually look at this chart carefully, and I'm going to ask you right now, keep your shirt on. Keep your shirt on and your pants on, please. Look at this carefully. After Richard thought the bull market top was in, Hex begins its bull flag staircase, kill shot, moonshot to the sky. Right? Very interesting. Yeah? See that? So I guess the real fun begins after Richard thinks the top is in. That's why I hope, and once again, I hope, and yes, it's cope. I don't know what's going on, but we hope that PDI gets to $1 in the first big wave, and then Richard thinks the top is over. And then after that, let me just show you. That's what we hope. We hope that happens. We hope that it does the hex chart where it goes up, and then, you know, everyone thinks it's over. Richard thinks the top is in for Bitcoin, and then this thing does the next 10x again, which is huge on the chart. I'm just going to show you the difference between the green and the yellow chart. Okay, okay, I just want to show you this difference. All right, this first part is, if you look at it here, that's like, you know, an 8 or 9x, and the next part is like another 10x from here. All right, what I'm going to do now is show you the regular chart. Look what this looks like. Look at the difference of that. This is like Hex going to that first 5-cent mark, and then this is the next 10x. Bang, 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 bang. Whoa! It literally through, look, literally through the chart, through the roof. See that? That's Hex, friends. I just showed you. See? You see the difference here? That's why he, like Richard, instead of like saving ammo, he's like, no. We got to get them all in. Literally, get them all in right now. And because I know what you're thinking is like when we just went through it, we're like, oh, but Somi, what about that horrific trap? Doesn't care, bro. He wins. He doesn't care. Good, like I said to you, better you're trapped with me than these other trash projects. Because, you know, in his friends, and he's right. You gotta understand, friends. He's a founder. Founders, they don't see me and you as like individuals. You know, you're not, you know, Mr. Slugcoin or Victor or Spidey. I'm just saying baby dolls from the Telegram, okay? You're not them. To him is like, okay, this is just the community organism. That's what it is. He's like, oh, the community organism. How many people do we have? 50,000? Let's get 100,000, you know? He doesn't say, oh, I want to put 5,000 girls and 7,000, you know, gender benders and 5,000 South Americans. He's not thinking like that. He's like, listen, I've got 50,000 people. I want to add another 50,000. Okay? I don't care what personality is, and it's all a normal distribution anyway. Who cares? Do you see? That's why you got to think about it from another perspective. Well, you know, here's the thing, man. That's why, look, if this doesn't work out, okay, we got scammed. But if it does work out, you understand why this is unique circumstance. Like, it takes a special certain type of freak to say, I'm worth billions. I want to be worth $1 trillionaire. That's my next goal. Do you understand how like uniquely, like how you're never gonna get that again, bro. You're literally never gonna get that again. I know I'm not. You know how rare that is? Firstly, to find the billionaire who gives you shit about doing this and not have insiders, number one. And number two, the billionaire to try to become a trillionaire. Yeah, but I'm not trying to toot anybody's horn or fluff anybody's pillow or anything out here, okay? Could still go to zero, yada, 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 disclaimer, we get it, okay? But I'm just showing you this is what happened last time. See, you and I would see this. If this comes all the way back down, you think, oh, wow, this is just like fluff euphoria. This is a scam. No. He's like, nah, bro, we win. We win. He goes, because now this becomes the target when we all come down here. He goes, strong believers believe we're going to go back up. So he's obviously, friends, he's made a decision. That's why I said to you, you could have an opinion on what you think's better. You know, oh, play defensive, play offensive. Our job is not to say what's better, okay, because it's outside of our control. Yes? It's just like, you know, friends, you know CZ with Binance. Maybe you go tell CZ, let's say you go find him at KTV. He's singing karaoke with the girls on a Friday night, and you pull CZ aside and you're like, hey man, I think BNB, you should stop making it defensive and you should just pump it as high as you can in the bull market, get it to $1 trillion market cap, and just trap the whole world in. You know, he might say, I don't like that. He's like, oh, I want to be conservative and risk. I don't like that volatility. I want us to be safe and a unit and solid. You know, he might say that, friends. You know what I mean? And what are you gonna say to him? Like if I was there next to you, right, also singing karaoke with the girls, I'll be telling you, hey man, it doesn't matter what you think is right or wrong. He's the founder. He thinks defensive is better. Well, that's what you're gonna get. You know. So I hope you understand the mechanics. What I've done, friends, basically is this is like I've given you know, let's say there's a 100-page booklet. I've given you like page 99 alpha. It's literally at the end of the book. Like you've gone through the intro, pre-intro, post-intro, everything. I've like given you the deepest of the deepest of the deepest alpha that you only get after hours and hours and hours and hours of being in here. Right? So that is what it all comes down to. Okay. But by the way, I've told you many times, it doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna work. Okay, I don't know. And you don't know either. I'm just telling you this is how I see it. I've got a peanut brain, peg my own nipples, straightest posture in the northern, southern, eastern, western hemisphere. I believe in Pulsechain. Like, subscribe, belly button, all. Catch you soon.